Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with Trooper Cecina. Trooper Cecina, on Trooper Talk, you know, it's very important that we recognize what we're doing as a city, and we recognize the time that we're at. Now, what I recognize is this. The store closes at 6 o'clock. I drive up Flamingo Road, and the sun is now coming over the mountains at a different area than it was a week ago. And so the sun is beaming in your eyes. And so you can put the sun visor down, but as soon as you try to look to the left or the right, it hits you right in the eye.
Yeah.
And so for a person making a turn, they're not able to see the cars. Now, on the highways, I'm sure people are hit with the same type of thing because the sun is at a different place than it was a week ago on the highways.
Yeah.
And so people need to recognize that there are different driving conditions. The other thing that I notice is the roadways are very cold. And
Yeah.
so now the tires, I don't care what kind of car you drive, truck, what four-wheel drive, doesn't make a difference, right? The road is cold. The tires seem to slip more than they did a week ago. And so when you're traveling on the roadway, again, doesn't matter what car you were driving, there's a little bit of a shimmy because the car is not sticking to the road as it was a week ago.
Right.
Now, with your being an instructor, you have a lot more knowledge than I'm trying to put in layman's terms. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I'm recognizing this week.
Yeah. It's funny though you mentioned that because I just had a crash the other day, and the car rear-ended another car, and I asked the person, "Hey, what happened?" It's like the sun was just hitting my eyes. I couldn't see that the light was red, and they didn't notice the car was stopped, and I hit him. I'm like, so it's funny that you mentioned that because, yeah, I even noticed it, but I mean, I wear sunglasses and everything, and but it happens a lot, especially on the 215, heading westbound. Depending on the time, the sun is just hitting you, when you're going on the 15. And it's just something people have to be aware of. Now that the climate's changing and the tires, it's not hot anymore, so the tires aren't sticking as much as to the highway. Now it's cold. And another thing that we just went through was the rain that we had a couple of days ago. So, whenever it rains, the roads get really slick and people lose control and everything. So I think we go through all three like weather conditions in like a matter of like 24 hours. So it's just a matter of adapting to it and knowing visor, you need to use your sunglasses or, slow your speed if the sun is hitting you. But I had my first crash and it had to do with the sun.
And it can be raining in Henderson and it can be sunny in Summerlin.
Yep.
So, the brakes can be different, right? Like I noticed that on the car, like when I was backing up, the brakes, not that they squeaked, but you could feel the grippiness.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of out in a like a humid climate, right? Much more than a warmer climate. All these things really make a difference. And so people need to recognize that whatever it is that they drive, it is different today than it was a week ago.
Yes.
Secondarily, you add impairment and speed. And so I didn't go for a drive this Sunday, but I noticed that on my drive in the morning that people are still driving the same speeds, and you're still getting some people that are really fast in the morning, and they're just flying. Yeah. And so, I think that there's a difference between a person driving fast and a person that's driving fast that has no regard for the safety of anyone else.
Yeah. Almost driving recklessly.
Driving recklessly. Yeah. And so, we need to do something about what these citizens are doing, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And a lot of people don't know the tire pressure changes depending on the weather. So I don't know if you've noticed that when you come into
Oh.
the turn on your car in the morning, you have those little tire pressure sensors that come up in your dashboard.
Uh-huh.
Uh, now that the temperature is changing drastically during the night and everything, it changes the pressure on the tire. So sometimes you might need to add a little bit of air. Sometimes you might need to take a little bit of air. So it
Never thought
changes
about
it,
that.
and a lot of people are not aware of it, and they take the vehicle and they still push 80, 85 miles if it's raining, if it's dry, or if it's wet. So we're starting to notice that, and we have our troopers out there, and especially the motor units that's out there every day trying to hit those spots where we get a lot of those calls where we have reckless drivers and people speeding. And I mean, they do a great job getting out there and trying to, handle that portion of the highway, whichever one they are assigned that day. And they do a great job, and that's what we can do is just one stop at a time and tell them to slow down, and it's not worth them getting injured or injuring someone else.
Yeah, that Trooper Thayer. I'll tell you what. I mean, we know we met the sergeant a few times because he goes out with the problem solving unit.
Yeah.
But we a few years ago we had a trooper come in. He went onto the green screen, but we never really went in depth like we did with Trooper Thayer when he was here. Totally like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like you talk about the fact that how you're supposed to concentrate when you're driving. You're not supposed to be texting or listening to the radio and doing. I mean, like absolute concentration to the nth degree that you need to drive one of those. Not that a four-wheel isn't the same, right? But holy smokes! I mean, like it was really amazing, and it was really amazing to be able to sit down and hang out and talk. And just like he has just an amazing demeanor.
Yeah.
And
great.
but like he was able to describe the motorcycle. It was very, very cool. So we appreciated that.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, him and everyone else there on the traffic unit, motor unit, they do a great job. So, and I know Thayer for a while now, and he's great. He's really
Yeah.
passionate about it, and you can tell from his work ethic. He's just out there.
Tremendous passion.
Yes,
Right?
very
Like-
tremendous passion. You can talk to one of the recruiters. He is very great. He's very fast at responding, and he will give you all the information that you need. So with the Academy starting on right now, we have a lot of things going on we're accepting laterals. We're accepting people that are just have no experience as law enforcement, but we're still going to be welcoming, and we're still going to teach them and give them the tools that they need to serve the public. And it also comes with a great pay, especially the pay that we got increased. And also there's incentives. If you're bilingual, if you have college, I believe it's a college degree, that you get an additional percentage of it. And we are in talks of another pay coming up next year. So it's looking great for us. And right now, our priority is the public, so we want to get as many troopers out there and serve the community. So feel free if you really have a passion for it, and if you want to do a ride-along. We do ride-alongs all day, every day, any shift. We can work with different hours. So if you feel like this is your passion, this is your calling, and you want to do a ride-along and get to see what a trooper does on a day of the life of a trooper, come and join us for a ride-along. We'll be more than happy to take you on a ride-along and answer any questions.
That's a good one. A day in the life of the trooper.
Yeah.
And Officer McClarty, Trooper McClarty, right? Like, I mean, it all comes from who wants to help, and everybody from the leadership all the way down really wants to help. They want to be there for you. They want to see you succeed. It's not that they don't want to see you succeed. And that's what makes it so special, is that they're really wanting to do that. So we'll get to some pictures now. You ready? Let's see what Johnny's got for us now. All right. October 1st, Vegas Strong. So, obviously, October 1st, Trooper Smacka, Sergeant Smacka, right? He was on, what was that, 2 years ago? He was on October 1st.
Yeah.
1 year later. and he talked all about what he had to go through, and he talked all about the girl that saved his life, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And so this was horrific for the city, for the country, you know, everything.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that we have to grow.
Yes.
And so how do we grow? Well, we have to take some form of a tragedy and put a scab on and sort of overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see a picture like this is, you know, that's the family. That's the bond.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great, and yeah, it impacted us on so many different ways. And on this picture, there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new troopers. Some of them got into this job because of what happened on October 1st, and it's great that not only just as a law enforcement agency and all the other law enforcement can come together, but it's also being able to come together, you know, as a state and as a country, and be there for each other, and being able to share this stuff with the community, and being out there for them, knowing that they're not together, and knowing for us that we're not alone, that they're with us too, and vice versa. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's going to be a day that we're never going to forget, and we're always going to be there for each other. We're always going to talk about the stories that happen, and we're always going to, you know, remember those lost their life that day. So it's great. I wish I would have been there. But yeah, this almost all of them are fresh new troopers. So it's great to see them, you know, go through that and know what Vegas Strong means and why we're there for
That's
everyone.
really great.
It's great. Yeah.
And so some of them are wearing the smoky hats and some not, right? So the non-smoky hat is the parole and probation.
Yeah. So here I believe someone they have smokies. I don't know why they're not wearing them on that picture.
Okay.
Everyone there is a trooper. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone there's a trooper.
Let's edit that part out. That sounded kind of wonky. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the troopers joined, some of them, after the October 1st, is very special because, you know, with your job, sometimes it's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes, you know, even though you feel like a warrior, right, you're like, you know, in your own way, you might feel defeated. Like, you know, there's so much being thrown at you at the moment.
Yeah.
And so to be able to see them and to know that they went through that, you know, sometimes we need that to just propel us forward in the times that we need a little bit of extra motivation or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, we all have our bad days. We try to be the best that we can as a trooper out there when we're working. But we all have our bad days. But when we get to do events like this, it's refreshing. It's refreshing that we get to share that with the public, and they know to tell them that you're not alone. We're here for you, and we feel for you, and we're going to continue to, you know, move forward. So.
Yeah. It's very special.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got on this one. There they are.
Oh, yeah. They're out there.
Terry Bennett Police Motorcycle Competition. So, as we were talking about the Trooper Thayer,
Yeah.
right? Like, the meticulous way that they ride these motorcycles is amazing. And when he was sitting here and describing how they go so close and how they're, it's very scary.
Yeah.
You know, for for somebody that's not trained.
Yeah, I've never touched a motorcycle, never been on one. I like them, but it's just I've seen some of the videos where they're maneuvering around the cones and everything, and I am amazed of how they're able to maneuver around it without tipping over, and because it looks like they're gonna fall, but the control that they have on it, it's very, very impressive. So, yeah, I know they're out there right now, so I hope for the best.
Yeah, and so the problem solving unit, you know, which is part of the NHP Motors.
Yes.
You know, as you talked about the fact of that there are certain places that they target.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we've always talked about with the Trooper Wellman is that people are able to contact the Nevada State Police if it is that there's an area that they deem, look, we see all the time, there's always people driving very fast. And so the Nevada State Police is really accessible. Like, if someone has a problem, if someone wants to know something, like, they can contact the Nevada State Police and somebody answers the phone.
Oh, yeah, of course. We listen to the community. So if there's ever someone that's driving recklessly, I mean, don't be afraid to call us, Star NHP. That's the fastest way you're going to be able to contact us, and we'll be able to send a trooper right away so they can handle that. Or if you see that there's a lot of speeding going on certain areas of the highway, again, feel free to contact us, and we'll send a traffic unit, or we'll have a trooper out there running the radar throughout the day and almost through every shift, and we'll try to control that, and we'll be out there in numbers to control that, because we listen to the community, and we want to show them that we care, and we want to fix those issues, especially because people speed all around. So we try to be everywhere, so don't hesitate to call us at Star NHP.
And we learned with the Trooper Thayer that when you see the trooper going down the road on the right-hand side and you want to drive very fast on the left-hand side, don't think that they don't have the radar so that they know exactly how fast you're going and you cannot outrun their radios.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's very important for the community to know so that they understand, so that they can slow down. Drive at a reasonable speed, right? Leave a little bit earlier, take the time. We all understand we're sometimes in a rush. But when we travel the roadways, we're taking an inherent responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we do that, we have to be cautious of all other drivers.
Yes.
We're not just the only person on the road.
Yeah. And sometimes some of the people I stop for speed, I always leave them with it's better to be late than to not be there at all. And it gets them thinking. I'm like, well, that's true.
It's the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's better be late than not be there at all. I mean, God forbid a major accident happens or something, a crash, and, I mean, you can prevent that. You have control of the vehicle. You can prevent that. So it's better to call, be like, hey, I'm going to be a couple of minutes late, or wake up early, or whatever it is. But again, still, speeding and impairment are the two major factors of fatalities, and that's something that we're working on, controlling and have zero fatalities at the end of the day.
Yeah, we're going to call that like an Ashley Trooper Wellism or something.
Yes.
The choice and the crash.
Yeah.
Right? Choice and crash, right? All right, what do we got for this one? Show our support as our 22 WNBA champions. Nevada State Police, no matter what team it is always showing support.
Yes.
With the cars, with the wrapping, with the troopers, with the, with the command staff, all that stuff, no matter what it is, they always drop everything and make sure that our teams know that the Nevada State Police supports them.
Yeah, and not every department has this opportunity, so the fact that we have that opportunity with them, it's great. And Trooper Ashley Wellman did a phenomenal job getting all this together and everything, and I was able to assist her on some of the stuff, but she did the majority of it, and it's great. We actually have a video that we just posted on our on the Instagram's Nevada State Police. Pretty much of the whole video and the whole process of how we came to the logos and us there on in front of the facility and everything. It's a great video. It just went up today, so check it out. It's really awesome. I have one of the cars with the hood wrapped outside, so it's great. You drive around town, people ask, and it's awesome. It's awesome to give back to the community. It's awesome to be part of a team that's worked so hard to come to where they're at right now. I know they're right now they're going to be defending their championship. So they come a long ways, and it's not just us, being there for them. They've been there for us too. They've been there for the community as well. So it's great that we can work together and maintain that friendship with us, and hopefully we have other exciting stuff to come along down the road. So.
Yeah, That's cool. So when you look over the hood, like you see it, is it just like do you put a smile like just
Yeah.
like you're just like it's like kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
It's like
sometimes-
in a personal way, right?
Yeah, especially when I first got it, I
Yeah.
forgot that I got it. So when I get on my car and I start my day, I see it and it's just like we're representing
Yeah.
Las Vegas Aces, and it's just great, and it's a great topic. So even when I stop someone, they see the hood, I'm like, is that Las Vegas Aces? Or can I take a picture?
Yeah.
So it's great, and to be able to have those vehicles around town and for people to get excited, especially with the tension going on, it's great. And I know there's going to be a couple of them that are going to be out on the National Night Out events. Including I'm going to be one of those. So it's going to be a great topic from when people see it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's really groovy. Well, congratulations, and we support them 100%.
Yes.
And we need to do everything we can for positivity, because we need positive role models for people that want to do athletics and things of this nature, that we want to support them. Because it's not easy. Like the discipline that it takes to be
Oh, yeah.
to be at a level of a champion
Yeah.
is tremendous. So we want to support them in every way we can.
Yes. We're very happy.
Okay, October is Pedestrian Safety Month. When it comes to a trooper, primarily your job is the freeways and all that type of stuff. But you do travel the roadways.
Yes.
You can, facilitate, pulling someone over on a roadway. It doesn't have to be on a freeway, right?
Right.
And so when it comes to the pedestrian safety, it's two-way. The pedestrian has to watch out for the motoring public,
Correct.
and the motoring public needs to watch out for the pedestrian,
Yeah.
right? And so I think we don't recognize that it's two-way. That even though you might be in a crosswalk, you still need to make sure that some person isn't driving down the road.
Right. Yeah. It's a two-way road. For pedestrians, they have to make sure that when they do cross on a walkway path if they're crossing the street, and they follow the signs when they're allowed to walk or they're not allowed to walk. Those little signs that are on the lights.
Right.
So they have to follow those as well. And us, not just as law enforcement, but anyone who's driving a vehicle needs to be aware of it, that they can be someone that's just walking or running to try to cross the street. And we have to be aware of it. So we always have to be aware of our surroundings. And it's something that we want to focus on more. And there's a lot of our troopers who even do this at schools. When kids are crossing the street, there's troopers who sit there and then make sure that there's no vehicles that violate that. As kids are walking, you're gonna have vehicles try to squeeze in before the kid fully crosses the road, and that's unacceptable, because now we're talking about a kid. But yeah, these pedestrians, lately there's been pedestrians that have been getting hit on hit and runs and just accidents happening, and we need to control that, because we need to show to the public that it's safe for you to be out there walking, but you just have to follow the rules as well, and it applies to us too.
Yeah.
We always have to look both ways.
And I was just going to say that when I come down Flamingo Road, right before you get on the freeway, there's the bicycle path to go on the side of the freeway or whatever it is, and people are very fast to try to get on the freeway before somebody, because they're able to turn on the red. So they don't watch the bicycles that are coming across or the people, because they're just like in a rush to make that turn to get on the freeway.
Yeah, especially that area where there's a lot of bicyclists and everything.
Yeah.
We need to be aware. We need to slow down whenever we are approaching a pedestrian intersection. We need to look both ways, make sure there's no one. It takes but 10 seconds to slow down, look around, there's no one, and then you can go. And we want to enforce that to everyone out there. And yeah, us as troopers, we do get out there on the roads sometimes, and we do see it, and we can definitely make changes and make stops, and be there for those pedestrians as well.
And on the freeway, barring that there's like like some catastrophe or something, right?
Yeah.
A pedestrian is not allowed on the freeway.
Correct.
You're not allowed to have a bicycle on the freeway,
Correct.
right? You need it needs to be of like a substantial car or like a motorcycle, right? You know what I mean? Right? In that way, and we don't see it that often, but every once in a while, and people have unfortunately been killed
Yes.
because they have traveled across. Where we recently had the rugby player, who was for the bachelor party, and he was traveling across the freeway. It doesn't happen that often, but sometimes, and so people need to be aware that sometimes it can be a level of intoxication or
Yes.
some other drug, right? But you should not be people are driving too fast on the freeways,
Yes.
even at 65, that they cannot see a car. Not a car. They cannot see a person on, it's just too difficult, especially at night or even during the day, right?
Yeah, and so the highways are no place for pedestrians, bicycles, mopeds, or anything like that. It has to be a motorcycle, up to those stingers and those motorcycles with the 3 wheels, and up cars, buses, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's unfortunate when we get those calls of a pedestrian that's on the highway, and it could be because they're out of town. They happen to walk down, either because if it's intoxication or they got lost. And some of these pedestrians try to cross a highway thinking they have enough room and enough time to cross the highway before a car approaches them. But they're not seeing that the car might be traveling at 75, 80 miles an hour. And that's also something that we urge the public to slow down and be aware of your surroundings, not just for the pedestrians, but for vehicles. Or any debris that's on the roadway. You never know
Debris, yeah.
what's going to be in front of you. If a load falls off of the bed of a truck or something, you need to. That's why we have the speed limit of 65, because you need to be able to see it and be able to control your vehicle to come to a safe stop. And unfortunately, when you're traveling at a high speed, it becomes more difficult. The higher the speed is, your reaction time is much less of a reaction time and causing a crash. So,
and I wasn't, we talk about it, but we don't bring it up all the time, which is the debris on the road, and not, people aren't doing it maliciously, no one's driving and throwing, but sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
And so sometimes there's something on the side of the road, or, like a piece of wood, or who knows, that we have to be aware in case we do need to make a lane change or something of that nature. We can't be, too fast and too, not narrow-minded, tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you have to be open, and you have to be looking at. That's what something that we teach on EVOC. Don't stare at anything for more than 2 seconds. Always look around. Always move your head. That way, it gets you out from the from the tunnel vision. Especially when you start picking up speed, your tunnel vision just starts coming down more. So it's something that we always encourage, especially our troopers. Like, if you're heading to a call, make sure you don't stare at anything for more than 2 seconds. Don't stare at a fixed object, because that's your vehicle's going to go where your eyes are looking at.
Yeah.
So always look around. Always be cautious. And some of these debris calls that we get, we get couches, we get ladders, we get dryers. Like, we get some big stuff, and it's a hazard.
Yeah.
It's a hazard, because if someone's not paying attention, they're driving distracted, their phone, speeding, it can be a very serious crash. And we try to be there to remove whatever debris is out there. But people need to be aware, and then just slow down and be aware of your surroundings.
I couldn't even imagine, there's a dry, or there's a sofa, I never even thought, but a ladder I can see, because and it's not disrespectful to any one profession, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I see a lot of times, people put in the back of the truck, a ladder or some pipes, or, cleaners, or, you know what I mean? But I never even thought about it. But I guess, going on the 215 going into Henderson where you hit one of those bumps and you
yeah.
have a sofa in the back of your truck and you hit that thing at 75 miles an hour and
Yeah.
that sofa's not tied down, that thing's leaving.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't take in consideration. So,
Right?
my suggestion would be slow down if you have transporting something heavy. Reassure that it is strapped down well enough that you know it's not gonna fall off, and slow down. Because at the end of the day, if that load comes off and hits a vehicle, you're responsible for it. It's gonna be an unsafe load on your part. So
Oh.
yeah, they're looking at a ticket.
And then it's their insurance too.
Yes, and it's their insurance too. So.
Right? Wow.
Yeah, so be cautious, and they have to be aware of what they're strapping in. If not, take the the side roads where the speeds are like 45, 35, even if it's going to take you a little bit longer to get there. But if you know that you cannot fully secure your load, don't get on the highway. And if you do, follow the speed limit.
Yeah, because that could literally be like a multi car crash or multi truck
Could.
crash or whatever because
Because everyone's driving 60, 70, 65, 70 miles an hour. No one expects something random falling on the middle of the road, and at those speeds, it's going to take a couple of cars to slow down and be able to avoid that. And yeah, it can be a 3-4 vehicle crash
like instantly.
just from a couch falling or something.
Well, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Like just a couple of people just moving, and you're like, yeah, we'll just take the freeway.
Yeah.
Wow. Motorcycles can be difficult to see. Always look 3 times for motorcycles. I think that people, when they look at a car distance and and they're behind it, not on the surface streets, but like on the freeway, and they look at a car or a truck or whatever, and they following it. I don't think they perceptualize that they should be further back from a motorcycle than they do a 4 or 3 wheel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A 2-wheel object, they should be further back because not only they need a lot more room to stop and all, but like a lot more things can go wrong with 2 wheels than it can the 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
It's you have like a car. We're inside a car. We have metal all around us and everything. A motorcycle is just on 2 wheels, and you're on top of the motorcycle, and God forbid an accident happens or something, you're going to be ejected because they're not wearing a seatbelt like us in the car. So it's very, very important for people that when they see a motorcycle, they keep their distance. If there's a motorcycle that's about to pass you, try to veer a little bit to the left so you can have enough room for the motorcycle to pass by. It's important because, like it says there, always look 3 times. Sometimes we look and we don't see the motorcycle. It's a 2-wheel. There's only one headlight, and sometimes we want to change lanes.
yeah.
And if that motorcycle is coming straight, we're not going to be able to see it. So it's always important to be able to look at our surroundings, use our turn signal, give it enough time for everyone else that's behind us to see that we're going to change lanes, and then change lanes safely.
Yeah, and I always one of the things that makes me really crazy is the lane splitters.
Yeah.
Right. I say it's slow because it's too much, and it's very dangerous to me because I try to be aware of my surroundings, and so when something comes up from behind me at a very fast rate of speed with a loud I don't jerk, but it's very scary for me.
It
And
shakes
so,
you a little bit.
Yeah, and so it's just like there's enough room on the freeways that people should be able to slow down and be able to pass amicably instead of having to split between 2 or 3 cars just to buzz down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lane splitting has been quite a thing nowadays, and again, that's something that we have to be cautious. And also, motorcycle, be aware of your surroundings because you never know that one car is going to change lanes at the last minute, and it's very dangerous to be lane splitting, especially on the highways at high rate of speeds. Because again, going back to the debris or a car changing lanes or something, you might lose control of the bike, and it's going to end up on tragically. But Yeah, just wear your helmet, wear your gear, and for vehicles, just be aware of your surroundings and always give room for this motorcycle.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but when I went for my drive the other morning, I noticed on the 215 coming like right before the new Durango Casino, there's a chip out of the road, like this big. And so for a car, it's no big deal. You zoop right, you know what I mean? But for a motorcycle, like,
Yeah, if they hit that.
like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
certainly giving you a jolt. And, like those people, they do the wheelie, or they're with one hand, you know what I'm saying? And so they drive with no hands on the things.
Yeah.
And so we all need to be cognizant of all the motorcycles. And again, kind of like the pedestrians, right? They need to be conscious of us, and we need to be conscious of them, so we can sort of meet there.
Yeah. Should be a two-way thing.
Two-way thing. We love the zero fatalities because all they do is they put the message out to try to help, us to have zero fatalities, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things that we look at is that we are in a different place than we were in 2021 versus today in 2023. And so a lot in the world has changed in the last couple of years.
Yes.
And so one of the things that has really changed is the fact of getting back our personal freedom. And with our personal freedom, we have to take a responsibility. And so if we're going to go out, plan. If you're going to, get under the influence of alcohol, or in this state, marijuana, do so in a responsible way. Don't get behind the wheel.
Right.
And so I always come back to one of the things that's very important with the trooper talk is that we never want to put a trooper in a position where they have to take away our rights. They don't want to do that. They will do it, but they don't want to. And so if you don't make the wrong choice, then you never have to meet with them. Then all you have to do is shake their hand one day and say, thank you very much for helping and providing a great service.
Right. Yeah.
But it comes down to the choice. And so whether we're in 2021 or 2023, the choice is still the same.
Yeah.
If you're going to get impaired, stay home or stay wherever, but don't get on the roadways.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's self-accountability. You make your choices, and we offer ride shares. We offer discounts for ride shares out there when there's big events coming on and everything, like EDC, and now that we have Formula One and stuff like that. There's ride shares out there. There's buses, taxis, friends. There's different options out there. And if you're planning on, having a nice time and get under the influence, don't put yourself at risk and don't put others at risk. Use the other options that are provided to you, to get home safe and still have a nice time and not end up meeting us under bad circumstances. The last number I know us for 2023, I believe we are at 250 fatalities in Nevada. It could be a little bit more now. But yeah, it's definitely a number that we want to get to as far as zero fatalities. And if you're speeding, we already talked about it. Take your time, leave early, don't speed. Remember that we all have family members out there on the road, so think about that. You wouldn't want someone to come in and, that's speeding and strike and hit one of your loved ones. So it's vice versa. We all have family members out there, and we all want to take care of each other. So slow down, wear your seatbelt, and do not drive impaired.
And you've been to the jail.
Yes.
Is it a nice place?
It is not a nice place.
Okay. And so we don't want to visit that, especially with your bracelets on.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Not.
Like it's not like, oh, this is a fun and joyous time and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, especially if they're coming from a fun event where they're enjoying their time with their family and friends. Why end the night with a pair of bracelets on an orange suit? for 12 to 15 hours at jail just because you decided to make the wrong choice. It's not worth it, and it's not something that we want to do, but we will do it because we want to protect everyone out there.
And that's what's important. That's what we need to keep telling everyone, that it's not a matter of you're sort of like you're forcing my hand. Like
Yes.
if you make me make the choice that if I'm going to protect the roadways and protect my family, or you're going to be going to jail, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
But don't put me into that position. Like, find another way to do what you're doing and stay off the roadways. And the same when it comes to the speeding. If you want to speed, just like you go to the track and you teach everyone, there's racetracks.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You can go drive your car as fast as you want, put on a helmet, you know what I mean, and do whatever you want. And so, go and enjoy your whatever it is that you want to drive that fast that way, and leave our roadways to the people that just want to drive sensibly, and adhere to the speed limits.
Yeah,
You know?
and speeding will also get you arrested if you're doing reckless driving and you don't have the willful and wrongful disregard for the public out there. You will be arrested and your vehicle will be towed for speeding. So it's something that they also have to keep that in mind. It's not just impairment. There's plenty of other things that we can arrest for and we will arrest for. But speeding, being that it's we deal with a lot of people speeding at a high rate of speed, sometimes even triple digits. You will go to jail for the night and you will get your vehicle towed. And that's just adding additional stress, expenses, tow fees that is going to be added to you on top of, having to go to spend the night at jail.
If you are driving of a reckless speed, you could go to jail and be arrested. It's not a matter of, they're just going to write me a ticket and that's I get somebody to fix the ticket
Right.
or something like. No, like you could suffer very, very big consequences for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people expect a ticket when they're speeding. But yeah, if you're pushing reckless, aggressive driving, and you're putting people out there at risk, yeah, you can be looking at jail. So that's something people need to be aware of, that, oh my God, I can go to jail for speeding. So
Yeah.
it's a real thing.
I just never thought about it, and that's a great message.
Yes.
And that's a great message that I want to continue,
Mhm.
and I want to continue to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people think that they can get arrested for speed or reckless driving, that they're
Right.
just going to get, just a ticket that they can just fix it.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
no, it's good. I want to keep talking about that. All right, car seats. So, some people, when they have children, okay, they don't know what to do because they're a first-time parent and they go, holy, like, I'm just leaving the hospital now,
Yeah.
and like, right? Trooper Wellman said when she had her daughter that she went and she made sure that the car seat was installed correctly by somebody to make sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have children,
Yeah, I have children.
and so you make sure that when they're, you know what I mean? And so I don't think that people realize that there are resources out there to not only check the car seats, but that if somebody cannot afford one, there are places out there that will give you a car seat for free to ensure that the children are safe when they're traveling in a car.
There's different places that do offer free car seats, and as well as they'll be able to install them for you. Even us on our Southern Command, our troopers, including myself, we can assist you with that. We go through training as far as to what to look for and how to fully secure one, and depending on the age of the kid and the weight, either it's going to be adjusted where they're facing the back or they're facing forward. So it's definitely something to teach the parents, and again, there's pamphlets and information that we can give to them, so as they grow older and they can go from the car seat to the booster seat and stuff like that, to be able to secure their little ones. But yeah, there's we offer those services, and a lot of people don't know about it, and especially when it comes to crashes, most of those car seats are not fully operational after a crash. So you do have
Oh.
to get a new one.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, almost like just like the helmets from the motorcycles.
Yeah.
When you get into a crash, yeah, the helmet's no good. So same thing for the car seats.
I never even thought about that. And you know, the thing that I always recognize when it comes to the kids, right, is that they don't have a voice.
They don't.
And so the thing is that they can't say, you know, mom, dad, grandparents, you know, whatever, can you do me a favor? Can you put me in a seat so when we're traveling to the store in case, you know. And again, I don't know what the number is,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure that it's a very low number of people that actually are in a crash, not something that they're doing wrong,
Right.
like somebody did a crash to them, right? And I once heard, I don't know, 10 years ago or 50, whatever the number was, but that a large majority of crashes happen within like 1 mile or 2 miles of your house or whatever the number is,
Yes.
right? Like, you know, probably like as soon as you're getting off the freeway or getting on the freeway, right? Because you're like, oh, I've done this 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? And the other day when I was getting off the freeway, there was a guy and he was on the right-hand shoulder, right? But, you know, it was around the curve where you know, sometimes can cut it a little bit close. Like, you know,
Okay.
you're on the right-hand side, and then you're not out of your travel lane, but you're like right on the edge of the right-hand side
Yeah.
white line instead of on the left. I've done it 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you, if you weren't paying attention and you came around that corner, you would have clipped this guy.
Yeah.
Not him, but the car,
yeah.
because he parked the car right on the line.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't know how I got on that, but you know, it's just, but it's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same type of idea, right? So when it comes to the car seats, you know, even though we've done it 1,000 times, we have to make sure that we check the car seat each time we're putting that child in there because, you know, maybe something moved,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And it's your kid, and you want him to be safe. You want him to be secured in the event of a crash, and they do work. They work. They're especially made for that, for crashes, and to pretty much secure the kids who's under there. So it doesn't take more than 30 seconds to sit your kid and fully secure him, and then be on your way. Regardless if you're going to the grocery store or something, always secure the kid, and always, you know, put the seatbelt on, even if you're going to the corner, because like you said, and it has happened to me, crashes do happen fairly close to our house, and I was victim of two crashes close to my house, so it does happen. So it's not something to take lightly, and we also enforce that. If we see kids that are not fully secured, properly secured, we'll, you know, talk to the parents and everything, and we'll take measurements if ticket needs to be given or not, or even us taking some of our time on the side of the road and show them how to properly secure their car seat. So we'll do that for them as well.
It's very important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody, not to say nobody, but people aren't watching out for the kids as much as we should, and so they don't have a voice. You know
Exactly,
what I mean?
yeah.
And so it's very important. Well, some of them are starting to get a voice, I guess, as they get older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Emergency repairs on SR 160 begin Monday. You know, Trooper Wellman and I, because I go for my drive on Sunday, right? So, and when I go for my drive, always on the 215 going out towards Jones, like all the way out towards Jones near the gravesite for where the lieutenant is, right? So
Okay.
I take the 215 and you go past Sky Point and and then you get to Jones all the way out there.
Yeah.
It's all cones.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we talk about, which is what you brought up, which is a very good point, which is when we're driving and we see rows of cones, you know, it's interesting you say about the 2-second thing because I didn't know that, but I always try to look away because we talk about the fact of that when you're driving, all of a sudden, you're looking at that cone and and all of a sudden you just ran into the cone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how it works, but I'm sure we all experience at some point when we're reading something, and then we just feel our car and we start hitting those rattles on the street, and we just hear the thumping on it. It does happen. That's why we tell everyone don't stare at anything for more than 2 seconds, because your car is eventually going to go there. And we joke around that and why the vehicle crashed into the one and only tree that's out there, because they were looking at the tree. So, when it comes to the construction cones, they're there for a reason. Not only to advise us that there's construction up ahead, that we need to slow down, but that there's construction going on and there's potentially workers there. So that's something that we need to be aware of. We need to slow down and be cautious for the roads, because there could be weather conditions that could, play a role in how your car maneuvers when you drive through the cones, or because there's construction workers that we need to watch out for.
And so we have two things. We have the move over law,
Yes.
right, and double the fines, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get a ticket or whatever the thing is, it's double for the construction, right?
Yeah.
And then for the move over law, it doesn't matter as a yellow amber light versus a police blue right, or a fire truck. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Tow truck doesn't make a difference. When you see that, excuse me, when you see those amber lights or whatever color lights they are and they are blinking, that means that you should either try to move over or at least decrease the speed, because you don't know what's going on, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and especially with all the construction that we have going on our highways and within the city, DOT uses their trucks and they have flashing yellow lights. There's always something going on where we're there with our flashing lights, ambulances, tow trucks, vehicles getting towed. There's always something going on, and most of the time that involves us being outside of our vehicle. So yeah, the move over light, slow down, and if you can move to one lane over, please do so. If not, just slow down and slow down.
No, I was going to say, and what I was going to say on top of that was that, and something that Sergeant Barachek always told me, and it's always stuck with me, which is, this is when it comes to the troopers, right? But this is where I'm doing business.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I'm not in an office. I'm in a car. So when I leave in the morning, this is everything that I have. I'm not going to get more. I'm not running home, right? And on top of which, when it comes to what I'm there, this is where I'm doing business.
Yeah.
And so just like them, they're jackhammering or whatever it is that they're doing, that we need to treat them with the same respect.
Yeah, 90% of our time we're spending it out there on the road. If it's either us or the construction crew or something, and especially with crashes that we're blocking the travel lanes, it's very important to be aware that the flashing lights means slow down and move over. Even if just a simple traffic stop or whatever it is, as simple as a vehicle getting towed, slow down, move over.
And if they block off 2 lanes of the highway and there's only 2 lanes open, and you get it and you get into a crash, now there's really it's really calamity.
Oh,
because, you know what I mean? So, the people just need to relax.
Yeah.
So, on SR 160, beginning Monday, just take it easy.
Yeah. Slow down.
Slow down. You know what that means, Trooper Senna? What do you
We're
think
done.
of that? This is the 3rd time, right?
Third time.
3rd time, okay.
Third time.
So, what do you think? Tell us a little bit of a synopsis so we know. Tell us what you think of the Trooper Talk and, coming here and all that stuff. Is it cool?
So, I really enjoy it. I like this opportunity to have a more of a regular conversation with someone that we can push out to the public, for them to be aware of more of we're not talking to them when it comes to on a traffic stop. We're talking to them where they can hear and they can listen to all this from the comfort of their house, and they can be like, oh, I didn't know that you can get a ticket for speeding. Oh, I didn't know about the move over law. I'm going to start doing that. So the fact that we have these conversations about different topics and be able to cover and talk more into detail about it, I think it's great. I think it's great for the community to be able to see that we're out here putting out information for them to know, and that we just want to inform the public. We don't like like arresting people, taking them to jail and everything. We like more to enforcing the law and make sure that everyone gets home at the end of the day. So this is a great platform to be able to get all that information out and be able to communicate with the public.
Yeah, like I always say in the store, I always say, we're here to educate and explain,
Yes.
right? And then we allow the customer to make a decision if they want to sell or they don't, right?
Yes.
And so when it comes to this, that's why I like it. It means so much to me that you see that.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's really important. Like I always come back to like the IPOF car show or these type of things where the trunk or treat that's coming up with the troopers, right?
Excited
Where you can go over to a trooper and just say, "Oh, I just wanted to ask you a question," or "Hi, I just I wanted to say hello," or and it humanizes the badge.
Exactly.
And so it's really exciting that you see that, because that's one of the things that we really like to embellish on the Trooper Talk, because we want everyone to know and to feel.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm really glad that you feel that. And
Yeah,
so
no, I like it.
we're happy. We're so excited that you're here. We look forward to many more times.
Yeah,
of
definitely,
you
yeah.
being here,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens, right? In the
we'll see what
in
happens.
the near future, right?
Yeah, if depending which way it goes, I'll either get it
Yeah.
or I'll stay shattering a little bit more and still be part of it, because I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. I'm very, very passionate about this, and I always tell the public, don't be afraid to approach us and say hi.
Yeah.
If you want to take a picture, if you even want to ask me something about your registration or something, like, this is how you find information, by talking, by approaching us and everything. So we're not there just to be mean and give tickets. We're out there to, help you.
Yeah.
Help you in any questions, create great relationships, because you never know who that person works for, who that person can be, or if you're ever going to work for that person. So
Of course.
it's always important to treat everyone with respect and help everyone, help each other, because at the end of the day, we're Nevada.
Yeah,
We're
100%.
with each other. So
Well, we appreciate you. Do me one favor before we leave.
Okay.
Just look into this camera and tell everybody in Spanish, since you speak Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Tell everyone that they can join Nevada State Police if they're interested.
Okay. Si usted desea empezar una carrera con la policía de Nevada, Nevada State Trooper, por favor aplique ahora a nevadastatepolice.com, o si quiere venir a hacer un ride along con nosotros para ver cómo nosotros trabajamos en un día, por favor aplique o vaya a nuestra oficina, llene una aplicación y nosotros con gusto lo podemos llevar a hacer un ride along. Aplique ahora.
And the last thing I'm going to say is, it really does help, and there's a lot of people that are bilingual that really could do a fantastic thing for Nevada State Police when it comes to either being a trooper or a dispatcher or anything like this. And so, it's really exciting to emphasize that, because I want people to know that they should feel excited that they're bilingual, not that they speak another language and they aren't feeling good about it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Trooper Cesena, thanks so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now
Thanks.
we'll look right here, and we're gonna wave.